Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of the series. Today we have Jagnandini with us. Jagnandini is a good friend of mine. She's a personal trainer and a fitness coach. Today we'll be talking about how she got into this profession, what is her educational background, and if she has some sort of advice for people to get into this field. So let's get to know her. Over to Jagnandini.
Okay. Hi, guys, and thank you so much for calling me, and thank you for thinking that I deserve an interview.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess being a personal trainer, it's very unconventional considering the society that we live in. I mean, at least for my parents, it was very, very unconventional. Like when I told my papa that I'm actually thinking to do this professionally, he actually thought like, we also need to make money. So of course, I mean, that hits you first because you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But I guess the fitness part, I always had it in me because while growing up, like literally, I was selected in this school team, athletics team when I was in 4th standard. And since then I knew like, I like it. Like if I remember my school time, I remember me just running the whole time. Like if you'll actually ask all my school friends, they actually know me like, hi ladki, like she just used to run. Like my school breaks, my lunch breaks, after school, before school sometimes also. So it has just been about like running. Then I didn't know if fitness hai, like I need to take care of my health. But it was just an obsession that I was just crazy about. Like I just like this field. Then of course, like, academics came in, then you also need to like
Do well in that.
Yeah. So that happened, and then I had gone to college. So I come from an army background. So taking that in my mind, I always thought like, okay, I'm active. I'm kind of okay to like be in a new scenario. Like that all was very fine to me because coming from an army background, like we were so used to like the changes after every 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, we are just switching cities. So for me, it was not a big deal to like crack into a new place. So I thought, oh, maybe, army can be a good option for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you did think of it as a career option for you?
For a very long time.
Okay.
So like actually till like my 2nd year of college, I guess. And so like there's a certain age that you can give your exam. Yes. So I did my NCC during my college because I didn't want to study, like take the hard road to that aim. But then I actually did my NCC, did my college. Then I thought, okay, let me give it a break. I'll just explore for a year because just getting into army, I knew like how the life is like, then you have no personal space. Sorry, like not to hit that area, but then at least like I'm someone like I like to travel, I like to have that flexibility and all of that. So I knew if I'm getting committed to that field, like I have to be in it, like all in it. Because like okay, for 1 year I'll just give it a break. I'll see like maybe I'll try advertisement, I'll try something random. I didn't even know. And then I happened to meet my now fiance.
So yeah, Jagnandini is getting married in February, guys. So
yeah, that's happening too.
Yeah. So currently she's based in Gurgaon, Delhi NCR, but soon she'll be based in Bangalore. So yeah, before we move forward, I'll just like to ask. So you've done your graduation from Lucknow University. In BCom. Right. So you're telling me that while you were in school, you were always this athletic person who was always running. I'm not sure from what.
No. Never my issues for sure. Then I didn't know what issues were. But yeah, like just like being active, bro. Like I used to name the sport and I'm doing it like basketball, volleyball, kho. Like all these sports, like it just like kind of tempted me the whole time. Oh, I just need to be outdoors.
And the thought of getting into army came during that phase only?
During the school phase, like when, the question comes to you that, oh, kya karna hai ab?
Okay.
So then I guess like, okay, army is something, you have to be active, you have to be outdoors.
And you're good at it.
And I'm good at it. You have to talk a little bit. Okay, I'm fine with it. So like, all that maybe.
So then how come you started thinking of pursuing graduation in BCom? Like how did that happen?
So see, there are different entries. Like if you want to get into army, like there are entries for men and female. So female is a bit different. Like it's CDS, it's OTA. Like it's slightly different.
Achha, the process to get into it is different for male and female.
Absolutely. I mean, the options are more if you are a guy. Like there's NDA, I guess. I mean, I do not know the
NDA is something which you get into right after school.
Right after school. Yes, yes, yes. So you have to like get a certain score. I guess through that also you can get
in that NDA entrance exam.
Yes, the entrance exam, and that just needs basically the criteria that you need. You just need to be 12th pass. Like there's no college that's required. But for women, at least when I was in school, I was in college. Like then the criteria was that a woman has to be graduated to give the serious exam. So the graduation was the only criteria. So I knew, okay, if army is one thing, and I anyway do not like have a any other as such professional aim. I was like, okay, graduation karna hai, let me just like get into BCom, because I came from commerce field. So I was like, okay, I'll just do my bachelor's from here, and let's say, God forbid, if I'm trying for army and if it doesn't happen, I can always go for MBA, or there are more options that are open there. So then I thought ki a graduation I'll do, and after that I'll prepare for CDS, or I already did my NCC. So in NCC also there are like different grades. So if you get the C grade, which is the highest grade certificate, then you do not have to give the written exam.
So this NCC thing you did while you were in college?
College, yes. Like in my first, second, third year, all 3 years, like there are these certain exams, and then like different.
Achha, so through this NCC route also you can get into this?
Absolutely.
You don't have to give an exam?
You don't have to give an exam. So that's how I got my first SSB. So SSB is like, once you crack into the whatever the NDA, like CDS, like FCAT, like whatever these entries are, like these are those entrance exams, and then you get into these SSB, like these are the selection process. There's a like 5 day, there's screening, there's something. In 5 days, like they'll properly evaluate you, like if you're made for the shit or not.
And this only starts happening right after you're graduated, not while you're in college, maybe you're in third year. Aisa kuch nahi hai.
No.
You have to be graduated.
You have to be graduated. But when then I met, Makwana, and then he asked me like, okay, you're planning to take a break. Like, why don't you try different, like there's zillion professions.
So break as in you were planning ki after graduation you will take some time off and prepare for the exam and then get into army.
Exactly.
Okay, so
again, like I planned the NCC entry, so I didn't have to plan for the exam per se, because
yes.
I wasn't giving the written exam, but yes, like the SSB is really tough. Like really tough. I mean,
they have 5 stages to
5 stages. So then I started exploring like different career options, like for that 1 year. Like after my college, and then I came across aviation. So so aviation happened to me. Like I literally Googled, and the interview was happening next day. And literally like 500 meters from my house.
What was it about that profession that actually,
It was paying my bills. If I had any bills.
But you liked the idea of like traveling so much, like in the flights all the time? No, you were just wanting...
See, to be honest, like I didn't know what being... So I was a crew, I was an air hostess. So I didn't know what... Of course I knew, okay, you're traveling, you're this and that. But like I was never interested in that field. So like it was an easy pick for me. So then he kind of like advised me, this would be like, again, we met in March, so maybe in April, like he must have told me ki yaar, ye bhi hai. And then I thought, okay, this seems easy. Like you only have to like go and talk and like just give your measurements, like height and stuff, weight. Like it's easy. I don't have to study.
I'm built for it.
Yeah, like I don't have to go and talk. So then, so literally he told me this day. The next day I Googled, and the interview was happening literally just right across the street. So I was like, okay, chali jati hu, like what's the loss here? And I had gone. I remember like it was recommended that you have to wear this and that. You have to put a lipstick, like, and you have to put a liner. Imagine like.
Did you know how to put a liner?
No, and I didn't even own. Yeah, and I didn't even own one. So
so you did this for how many years?
I did it for like three years and about 2-3 months. So it was pretty long. I thought of only 1 year.
And what kept you going?
Yeah. Like? So now let's connect those dots. So like I told you, like I wanted to go to army, right?
Yes.
And after I worked in Indigo, like I understood that, bro, like this is not even army, and I'm not even getting the flexibility to like spend my Diwali, my Holi, like
it's even more hectic.
It's more hectic, yeah. Like army, at least if you say, bro, like I'm gonna take this much break, do not, interrupt my breaks, great. But in like at least Indigo, that aviation company, like there, I had to like take my off 6 months prior. So it was way too hectic. And
this is with Indigo, right?
This is with Indigo. I mean, I'm sure like now maybe the system must have changed, but at least then it was like that. Like 6 months before, the window will open for like the next 6 months. It used to be like that.
Crazy.
And like, you know, you're traveling, you're flying, like by the time you land, you see like those offs are already taken, like Diwali is out of your, you know, like you can't take that off anymore. The New Year's is out, the Christmas is out, like literally the main days, they used to be called as red days or something, like very, you know, those days where every crew will apply for an off. So you knew like you will not get those days. So during that phase, I understood like, oh my God, like I'm struggling with an aviation company for that matter. How will I survive in army? Like I'm not made for it. Like, okay, maybe, you know, professionally, I knew that I can do it. Like physically, you know, mentally, I'm fine. But I always wanted a very laid back life, I guess.
The lifestyle was not something which was like your cup of tea, maybe.
Not at all. And seeing my father, you know, like, my family has been grateful. Like my mother, you know, she worked at home. Like, you know, she was a housewife. So like she always could accompany my papa, like wherever he was going. So I guess it was very smooth for my parents. But I understood like if I choose to do that, you know, and personally, like forget about like my partner, you know, accompanying me or not. Like I do not want to. Like I wanted to like settle in one place and like, you know, build a life. Having challenges is fine. But I guess I didn't want the move-in like
makes sense.
Every 3 years, you know, moving in, moving out life. I wanted a stability, I guess, after a point when maturity had hit me, I guess, that no, like I want to, you know, have that stability in life. So then I thought, army is not for me. So I remember like I got the Bangalore SSB. Imagine like I was living in Bangalore and I, you know, got the Bangalore SSB again.
This was like after 3 years you have already done in Indigo.
No. So this is first year actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So like because my parents and even I wanted to see like, come on, like I have been thinking about army for like almost 3-4 years. I want to at least give the interview, see how it goes for me. I'll make it or not. That's another thing. But like I'll kind of, you know, just try for the bit. So just for that sake, I filled the form. I got the SSB because I had that NCC C grade, you know, certificate. So I got that. But like the day that I had the interview, I remember like I packed everything. Like again, they have this certain that, you know, you need to carry boots, you need to have this formals, you need to have all your certificates and everything. But then I kind of froze. I like, why am I even doing that? This is not something that I want. And I don't know. I mean, these are those, I guess, fluctuations of your adulthood. And I was like, I do not want to do it. Like, why am I even trying for it? Like, Indigo is only giving me a hard time. It's just an aviation company, you know, where I get to have so many perks, but still I'm like not really
happy.
Yeah, happy, or in a way like I do not see myself doing
this
it
for a long time.
So imagine like if you're committing to army, you cannot leave that quickly. Like it's a government job. So the cons were pretty big. Like if I'm committing to it, I guess then it was like 5 years or something. Like 5 years I had to work. So I wasn't ready for it.
So you just left?
I just left. I was like, I'm not going.
And what did your parents say like when they got to know about it?
They were fine. They kind of always, of course my papa, like he always wanted me to like, you know, appear for that interview. But again, like they were pretty chill. I guess being the younger one, so I have an elder sibling, so she has seen it all. She had taken the rough route. So like she was like really good at academics and everything. My parents wanted her to do the engineering and everything, but like she secretly you know, filled the exam for NIFT, the fashion designing. Yeah. Nice. And she actually did that. Like I remember when she told Papa that I'm not, I mean, she gave all the exams and she actually cleared also a few of the exams. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going for engineering. I like this and I'm going to go for it now.
Basically, she cleared the path for you. She made it easier for you.
Yeah.
And they got chill.
Yeah. So I guess by the time it was my turn, my parents already had no expectations. You're going to study, you're going to make money. Great.
Just make money.
Just make money. Don't ask from us. I guess they were pretty fine with that. And at least at that age and with what academics I had, Indigo was paying me pretty well. So
okay, so this was happening while you were in first year of the Indigo situation, right?
Yes.
And by that time you had already decided कि मुझे army में तो नहीं जाना है.
Yeah.
Then you did 2 more years in aviation only.
Yeah, because COVID happened.
Okay.
So 2020, right?
Okay.
So by 2020 March, I guess the February March the news started coming in that we're gonna have the lockdown, like it's already spreading in China and few more Asian countries. So then I must have done what I joined 2018, so like close, like 1.5 years I was into Indigo.
Okay.
And I knew like I'm not doing army, so I was still kind of figuring out like what I have
because
to do.
Aviation was also something which you're not planning to do for a long time. So you were still figuring out.
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, okay, let me see
and then COVID happened.
And then of course the market was really bad.
This was in 2020, right?
This was 2020, yeah. Okay. Again around March, April. So then I was like, okay, nothing's working for me, and I forget about working for me, but even I'm not clear like what I'm going to do. Then 2021 summers, so initial of 2021, I sat, with myself, and I thought like, enough of that. I can't be running behind. I wasn't even running behind money, but I guess I got comfortable. Okay, I'm fine. Like.
But you were not satisfied.
But I was not satisfied. And again, I didn't see myself doing that for a very long time. And I wanted to be like satisfied with myself. Money comes later, of course. I mean, it has to, but it comes later. So then, like, I sat with myself and I thought, like, what is that one thing which I'll do now, which I would not want to like crib about in future. And at least like 5 years I can do that without a phase of me crying. Like, I don't want to do that. So then actually like I wrote down a few things and then I actually like went back, like, and that's what I mean. I'm no one, but I would still like to advise people like that what worked for me. Like I actually looked back and I looked at my childhood, like things that I really liked and
things that actually made you really happy.
Made me really happy. So then like again, I didn't know the fitness term at that point, but I knew.
So by this time you were like not at all into maybe gym and all.
Not at all.
Like, you did not even know this profession exists. Like
not at all. Like of course I knew people, but like they were influencers. But not as a, I didn't know like people are making money in this.
And huge money.
Huge money, yeah. Like you can make a lot of money. And I guess this COVID also helped a lot, like because people started training online and like their
plus
health.
People were just so much home that they were getting fatter and like they had to follow something.
Exactly.
And probably that
the health was taking a big toll, and their cardiovascular health, all of that, because that was one of the reasons.
COVID was also one reason they wanted to get fitter. Now that because of that immunity thing, they wanted.
Exactly. So like people were understanding the term, so I understood like this is one field which is actually getting the boom, and if I like it, why not like me trying this? I always knew that I'm good at it, but I didn't know like again like doing it professionally.
How to go about it.
Yeah. Then I kind of made sure like, okay, this is what I want to do. Now I don't know what I need to call this, but yeah, like health, fitness is something that I would
something that keeps you moving. This is something which you've been doing from your childhood. You like it.
Yeah.
And if there is a profession out of it, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
And so then I just had to like wrap my head around it. Like again, what niche do I need to pick up? So I like the initial of 2021, I started connecting with like lots of random accounts on Instagram, like
Did you
these
DM
coaches.
them?
I started DMing them. Few people like in friends of friends, like I knew like they are into maybe yoga or like something
Pilates, yoga.
There was like so much in the industry. So I started connecting with them, like how did you get into it, what courses do one needs to do, because of course you can go and do your masters. There's definitely masters in medicine science, and like there are lots of that, but I don't know, like I've always been the shortcut person. So I was like,
get me the results.
Get me the results.
Get me the money already.
Yeah. So I didn't have the patience for the long route, I guess. And then someone also told me that, like, of course, that way also you can have a great path, like doing your masters. But that will give you more of, educational hit. Maybe, like becoming a professor, because then you have like a batch on yourself.
Yes. And then you can teach people.
You can teach people like that way. But if you just want to like kind of what I always saw myself like kind of just taking all that information out and helping people. I guess that you can still do it by just doing a quick professional course, which is something that I did eventually. So then I started DMing people and then getting to know them. Acha, like this is what you did, and a lot of people, again, some of them did masters, some of them did like what I did. So then I came across this certification. It's called Personal Trainer Certification from this college called American College of Science. American College of Exercises, I'm sorry. I got to know about this and doing my own research, and I then got to know about like one of the best certifications that were going in the market was this Personal Trainer Certification by ACE. So this is like one headquarter that is from the US. Like they have their affiliated institutes also in India that kind of helps you get the certification. I thought, okay, I'll leave my job and then I'll move to Delhi and then I'll see like how how I can get in it like professionally. But first I had to like get this certification shit done. So that I knew. And again, personal trainer, see, there are lots of there's yoga, there's Pilates, there's, calisthenics, there's so much so that, there are lots of options. And actually, COVID actually made people choose also. Oh, today I want to do Zumba, today I want to do like yoga. Like people were also very interested in trying different things because that was also giving them, a kind of... those fluctuations in their workout which people like.
Otherwise they get bored.
But what I like personally after I started like studying and getting into it was strength training.
Okay.
And strength training is something, again, I'll be biased because that's my industry, but strength training is something that, like the results.
It actually gives you results. Like even I have seen it with time that like initially when I started getting into it, I joined Cult Fit and they also have these option of like multiple classes. You can book whatever you want, and because I was such a noob, so I would always go for the dance cardio one and maybe yoga.
Yeah, that's how we start.
But yes, even that fitness trainers there, and from a lot of online sources I got to know that strength training is something which always gives you the best results. And cardio वगैरह से you just feel like you have done a lot, but it's not really happening.
And you can't do it on everyday basis. So then I thought, okay, then strength training is something that kind of like bringing everything together. And like I told, like I didn't used to exercise. Plus, like I came from an athletic background. That way I was a runner. So all I did was running. Of course, for my strength, my coaches made sure that I did squats, push-ups, like a very, now I understand like they were very functional movements because I also had to get the power for those sprints. I was a sprinter. So like they were very functional movements, but they all had a backing of strength training. So that strength training was something that was like, everyone have to do. Like if they want to like, because your metabolism is dependent on your muscle mass, and muscles you build only through strength training.
So just say, when you started learning about it during your certification, given your background and what you were good at already, and seeing that you can really do good here, that was the main reason that you started probably getting into it. But isn't like depending on what all opportunities more are there, like in this field specifically when it comes to training, did you also consider that while pursuing it, or it was just your likeness towards it?
Just like that.
क्योंकि काफी लोग सोचते हैं कि अभी आजकल पिलाटेस बहुत चल रहा है, तो I'll probably do that, maybe yoga. It's easier to get into cardio.
Of course. And I remember like one of my very good friend, like she told me that yoga kar le yaar, yoga, you can like, because sorry, but yoga is actually Indian stuff, right? And all these like Firangs, they go like crazy. Bro, yoga.
Plus, it has come back in a very weird way in Indian market. Also, people see it as like a very Indian thing कि हमने करा है कुछ.
Again, I do not know much. I want to learn, but as far as I know, like yogis, you see like they're very sorted. Like mentally, it does really good.
Yes. Like you give it some time and it'll get better. Like eventually, you get really good at it.
But then I know yogis like who do strength training also. So strength training is something that everyone gets on it later or early, their choice, but they have to. And especially for women, like I started understanding like how much important it is for a woman to do strength training, because literally patriarchy plays its role everywhere, biologically also. Sorry, I can be targeted on that, but then it does. Like women's body, we give birth,
Yeah.
We go through menopause. We go through periods every month. We bleed every month. So there's so much going on happening inside the body that your body has to kind of support you for all that functions. I'm not saying we are not made for that, but our bodies also have to, you know, support. And it goes for men also. Like, of course, if a man is like fully living a sedentary lifestyle, they're also going to face like crazy issues. But as compared to women, like our hormones are just everywhere.
Yes.
So
28 days.
Tell me about it. So to keep everything in line, I think strength training really helps you in keeping your, your cortisol levels, your stress levels down, your, your metabolism fast, because and with women, like your muscle mass depletion, it happens with everyone.
With age also, no?
With age, but with women it happens earlier, which is why you'll see like a lot of women around their mid-30s, like their body starts to change.
Yeah.
Like it's not
drastically.
You'll not say, oh, I'm in my 20s. No, like it's very few bodies.
And then those beauty standards, so many things will just come at you, and then you'll just lose all of your confidence.
Exactly, because everyone expects you to be like the 20s body, but you can't be, because your body is doing its job. You know, how much ever you can never stop the process. Yes, you can take precautions to it, but your body will do its job, right? Like your muscle mass will drop, like with age, like I've seen my mom going through her menopause phase. Like menopause is really hard for some women. Like I've seen men saying menopause, like it's a great phase, right? You just get off the cycle. And like, no, like it's a natural.
Mentally, it's very torturing.
It's very torturing. Like, my mom, I remember like the AC is on the lowest temperature, but still like she'll start feeling this sudden, oh my god, like there's so much like heat in her body, because during your menopause you used to also have these heat fluctuations, like your body temperature goes really high. So there's so much going on. Like with men, it happens. You'll see, like, I don't know, but like if you see our fathers, like elder people, their body starts to change around their 40s. Like their, the stomach comes out. In their 30s, they're chilling.
Yes. They don't see any difference.
They don't, you will not see like major difference happening in men. But around their 40s, they also like lose that. So if they don't care, they don't take care for their bodies, mental health, whatever, then they're also going to face the issue. But with women, like it was something that really lacks, and especially in India, it's not like conventionally very acceptable. Also, like, jao gym jao. You'll see a lot of men like anyway they're out on the outdoors. That way that they're anyway doing some physical shows, like heavy physical shows, and eventually which is maintaining their muscle mass. But with women, that's not very usual. At least in my household, I didn't see. Like, let's say, we are taking, I remember like bachpan mein, we are taking a train to, let's say, going to our dadi's house. I always saw my papa lifting the bags. I never saw my mom lifting the bags, right? My mom is taking care of the kids. So that way also, like, you will never see that women are doing, like they are taking care of their physical health. But around their 30s, late 30s, 40s, they start realizing it, oh my God, so important. Because so many, like, osteoporosis happen. Now see, like, arthritis, they hit like women.
Har aurat ko hota hai, to
har aurat ko hota hai.
40s mein to everyone is going through it.
So it's just so much depletion that happens, that if you do not like consciously take the effort to go out and like work on your strength, it is going to affect you sooner or later. So I knew, like, and I always personally, like, I love women. Again, like, I've grown to have that understanding that this is where I connect. Of course, like, I like men also, very few men again.
But most of the women.
But most of the women, like, if I see a long-term connection, I think only a woman can understand me, not a man. Like, they can be nice to me, they can be very cordial to me.
You will never connect on that level.
Never.
Yeah.
Like, they can be very, accommodating, empathizing to the statements that you will make, but they will never, like, go back and answer, oh, this is the same thing happened to me, like, it's so tough. But women will always do.
Yeah.
So I guess I understood that I always, like, gel well with women. Like, since college, I had that in me. Like, I kind of always inclined myself towards women. So then I thought, if I'm taking this field, there's so much that can happen.
You can actually provide value in a way that's actually needed in the market.
A lot
of women can benefit from you.
Exactly. And I really want, like, I just started it from a point of view, okay, I want to find a career for myself.
But then you started seeing it as something where people can actually benefit out of it.
Exactly. And, like, this strength training industry also, I don't want to sound that way, but if you remember like coaches, trainers,
mostly men are there.
Don't hate like 1, 2, 3, 4. Which a lot of women are not comfortable going to.
We are not. Honestly, we are not.
Like I remember, I'm just saying these things out loudly, but then I remember like few women, they don't even like doing skipping or like jumping because their body just kinds of vibrates and they do not like that men noticing that.
They are way too conscious about all of these things and that stops us from getting into it fully.
Yeah.
So this brings me to my next question. Like we have now finally established that strength training is something which is like too good. But I like for my viewers and probably someone like me who doesn't really know what do you mean by strength training, like what do you actually get done? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what exercises does it have and how can, if someone wants to get maybe started with it on their own, what can they do?
So see, again, strength training, now we have to like focus and name it a certain way that yes, this is strength training. But if you see, like just remember a few moments, like when you were an infant, or when you see an infant, or when you see like a baby, like taking its first steps, you'll see like squatting. You pick everything, that's deadlift. You lift everything, that's shoulder press. You push anything, that you push your chest muscles, your tricep. You pull anything, that's your back muscle, your biceps.
That's a great way to put it.
So
I never thought about it.
Yeah, so these are like very, you just break things simpler and it's just so simple. Like, if let's say you tell me, Nandini, can you just shift this table? I'll push the table. I'm using my push strength. That's my chest muscle, my tricep muscles, right?
So you basically work on all of these parts in strength training.
Yes.
You make all of these things better in your body. और मतलब किसी भी बात पे आप focus कर सकते हो. Whichever is weak.
Yeah. So you'll see like a lot of again women. Men also, but a lot of women, you'll see their lower back starts to take a toll.
Yes.
And a lot of people like who delivers, I mean now of course the generation is taking now a lot of conceiving and pregnancies are happening in early 30s, like it's the average age that's becoming, at least in my peer group I know. But like in like how it used to be, like mid-20s, late 20s were the age like where you just get done with this, right? But now it's not happening. But a lot of women like who do that, conceiving part also, and even for us, our lower back just gives up.
Yes, it does.
So I have heard my friends saying it, that like opening a fridge, picking something really gives me an ick. Like, mera lower back mein thoda sa kuch hota hai. So, and imagine this is such a normal movement. You just have to literally bend, pick something up, and that's it.
And then people say it because you're in 30s now, या फिर आप 30s का आ रहे हो उसके आसपास, so that is why it's happening. But it's mostly because you are not actually moving. Your body is not moving.
Body is not moving. It's not doing its organic job like it's supposed to. We are made to like bend, lift. That's body's natural job, but now we think, oh my god, don't do that, it will give you like some pain. Don't do deadlifts. I've heard so much myths about deadlifts, that don't do deadlifts, you're gonna just like take a full toll on your lower back. But no, like deadlifts,
if you do it right,
it's a natural movement of the body. So you are, if you do it correctly, you are going to get the benefits of it. Now let's get on the benefits part. So see, benefits, of course, like there's so much, maybe I would also not know. I still consider myself, a noob to the industry. Like I've been in the industry for 3 years now, but still I feel there's so much to learn. Yes, there's so much. And I'm actually still like, I'm so grateful that, I made this decision for myself, that I'm not bored of this industry at all.
Right.
There's so much that I want to learn. There's so many people that I want to help make money eventually, yes. But from the point of view that, there's so many people that they actually need my insights and I can actually make a difference. Like I've actually gotten messages where people actually felt good and it made me feel. Of course, they pay me, but the comments.
I mean, a lot of jobs pay you, but then where do you actually see people thanking you from their heart that you actually change their life? It doesn't happen in every profession.
Exactly.
And if you're a part of it, then it actually makes you really happy.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, of course, like going deep into it, it's a lot. But then I'll tell you like in a very layman term, like what helps? Walking on the stairs helps. How I told, like opening a fridge, it's so easy for you. You lifting, like you're traveling somewhere, like if you don't need a guy to lift your bags, you can lift your bag yourself, right? There's so much that happens on a surface level only, that you get happy about that. And then coming down to, your cortisol levels with women, like there's so much like this PCOD,
it's very common these days.
It's very common. It's very common. And this is, PCOD is nothing, it's a lifestyle. I would not even call it a disease, like it's literally a lifestyle lacking, like
it has mostly happened because of that only, and especially a lot of women getting into corporate desk jobs. And the lifestyle, probably partying late,
drinking, smoking. Again, I'm not saying
but it is curable, right? I mean, if you follow the...
Absolutely. It's again, it's a lifestyle, disease. But then if you make your lifestyle better, it will also drift away. Like there's a way to it. But it's all lifestyle.
Okay.
So your metabolism is really messed up. If you get PCOD, if you get PCOS, like your metabolism is just going to go out of your life. It is not going to be in your control. So and what is metabolism? Metabolism is just like you breaking down those calories into energies, and then like the speed at what your body would be like breaking those calories. And if that slows down, imagine I'm sorry, but then you're going to get fat because, the whole process slows down. And so what strength training will do, strength training will take your muscle mass up. Like if you lift weight, the contraction happens in your muscles, right? There's like a certain fluid. Again, it's very detailed term, but like there's a certain fluid that goes into your body, and that all helps in increasing the size of the muscle, increasing the volume of the, those muscle that is there in your body. So that eventually helps in taking your muscle mass up, and your muscle mass is very directly interrelated with your metabolism.
Okay.
So if your muscles are working well, your metabolism will also work well. Which is why in women, like how I told you earlier, like the bodies really starts to change around their mid-30s if they're not taking care of their bodies.
Okay.
Is because their metabolism, it slows down. And we biologically, we do not have that much muscles in our body.
Yes.
A lot of men you will see, even if they don't do much, they'll be fine because they have good muscles in their body. So muscles really like gives you good benefits. So like strength training really helps in your muscle mass, which eventually gives you good metabolism, which eventually gives you the right weight. And then again, like it has a lot of cortisol hormones effects also in good ways.
Yeah. Cool. So basically, strength training is awesome.
It's awesome.
Especially every woman should pursue it and do some sort of strength training and include it in their lifestyle. So now I would like to go to the next question, which is like, so you have decided that you want to go into strength training while the whole certification thing is happening.
Yeah.
So once you're done with that, now you are going to be working. So how do you then go about it? Which company did you choose? And how was it like? And now that you are not working with any company, you're working on your own, you have your own few clients. So how is it different from the job that you had? Just tell us about that.
So, so I was in Indigo because I knew like if I, I have to, this one learning that I got like while being a professional, that I do not want to be in rush and don't want to like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and then I'm going to run behind my passion. That I knew I'm not going to do that. So I thought like till the time I prepare for my exam, so I, registered myself with this affiliated institute of that college where I wanted to get my certification from. So I got myself registered with them. So, they had their own books and everything that could, the right knowledge about the whole course. So that I was any which way getting provided by that institute. So I started studying. I started the course with them, which was like about a 4 or 5 months course. And I started with them, I guess from the summers, May or June is like the time when I started. And then I didn't even leave, like I didn't start my notice period also at Indigo. So I knew like, okay, my course is going to, get finished. And then I had to appear for the exams. And I thought like, I do not want to give my exams while I'm working because I needed time for that. So I thought, okay, by like till the time I'm like, in this institute, I can also like make money to kind of have more savings for, my future months till the time I figured things out. Sense. Until then, like I didn't explore the market only, like what jobs are there. There were startups like Healthify Me was doing really well. Now I don't know how you know, how it's doing. But Healthify Me was really in the air. Like,
yeah, even everyone, like I saw people in my company would download their app.
Their app,
And they had a lot of options, like diet options too.
Exactly.
So you can track every calorie that you're eating. And
exactly. So there, I remember that time Fitter was there. Like lots of online portals were there. But again, I didn't know. So I was not even exploring how the process is and all of that. So when like my full course, I did it along with my job, my Indigo job. And then when I knew that I have to give my exams, now I'll give my notice period. Then I give my 2 or 3 months of notice period in Indigo. I left it in 2021 September.
Okay.
That's when I left Indigo, and I came in October started living with my parents
in Delhi.
Okay. Until then, I didn't know like what I have to do.
Okay.
Then I was preparing for my exam in November. I gave my exams, and you know, like I got through and stuff like that.
So, jahan se certification kiya tha, these guys don't help you with like how are you gonna go about now finding jobs or maybe clients. They don't help you with that.
They do, but it's very like conventional jobs, which I knew I didn't want to. Like I didn't want to. I mean, eventually I worked in a gym, but I didn't want to like. I wanted to like learn while I'm.
Okay.
You know, working in a
conventional
gym.
As in they'll get you in touch with some gyms, and then you can be a trainer there.
Yeah, you can be a trainer because they are making the benefits, right? Like you are not going to learn as like as I felt at least. So then I thought like, and I was also like fully confident, like main to 4 degi types like that. And then I thought, okay, let me just do like online stuff. Let me see like how that works. And I actually got, you know, 2 clients, which was a big number for me then because I had like literally no background.
Huge.
Yeah. And then I got like 1 client from, you know, from my Indigo base only. Then one of, you know, our circle's friend's wife, she also started working with them. I'll tell you later. So, like that all happened, and it was actually going well for me. But then I understood that, you know, it's all bookish knowledge that I know.
Okay.
It wasn't like now also what I told you, like it's all bookish knowledge. You know, you can easily like just go Google and like get it done.
So while this was happening, sorry to cut you, you were also like into strength. Were you also doing it? Was it a part of your routine as well?
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that you were learning during that time on your own as well.
On my own, yes. And I guess it's very important. Like if someone like really wants to, you know, cut through this industry, like people will know. Now, though, of course, like even like a Gen Z kid, like a really late Gen Z kid, they would also they know what strength training is, and moreover, like they want to look good. So they are all into like workouts.
Most of them are influencers, so they have to.
They have to look good.
So they get into it eventually anyway.
Exactly. So I mean, they all are like doing it. But then when I was into it, like I used to run. I used to like thoda bahut idhar udhar like I'll use machine, but I wasn't into it. And when I started studying, then I understood like, you know, the importance of it, and then I started doing it on myself.
Okay.
But so when I did my examination and everything, then I was like, I will do it online, like I'll do a business on myself, like I'll break through all of that. But then I realized, okay, I can make like somewhat money. The money wasn't great, but it was like.
But you still need a network, and that will only happen once you meet maybe more people.
Network and my own personal learnings.
Yeah.
To be honest, Shivani, like you can't learn, at least in fitness, I felt that, gradually, like now I'm working on my own, I'm doing only online training. But at one point, like I really wanted to see that person, work on that person.
And then only you can give your genuine advice, like what is actually lacking. If you don't meet them, how can you just consult?
Yeah, and at least initially, now also like now I have like overseas clients and stuff like whom I've never met. But now I understood, like, you know, there's so many bodies that I've already like experienced now. So I guess that was very important, and that clicked way much later. So I would not say like I wasted my time. There's no time that you ever waste. Like you always end up learning something. But I guess I could have utilized it better by just joining any conventional gym also for that matter.
Okay.
But like, you know, like working on in-person bodies, you know, seeing the effects, and then, you know, like understanding, like, you know, this is what happens. Like the person would come back tomorrow and then tell me like, meko to ye hua, mujhe aisa hua. So, you know, like those in-person feedbacks are also like very important for you. So, so that happened. And then still like, I wasn't like going out and telling people that I'm available, like take me for a job. But I was like, still, I understood that this is how it's going to work. And I don't know, fortunately, the institute where I did my certification from, they actually sent me a recommendation. So there's this gym called Sumaya, and you know that you come from an hospitality industry. So that was also a little bit I wouldn't say issue, but it was a limitation that I couldn't work in an very unorganized sector, because I worked with a very big brand, and it was a hospitality industry. So everyone is like very prim proper. They know like how to talk. Like even if like let's say someone is at a very low humble,
they have their basic personality like ups a little bit. They know like how to basically interact.
So you really know like you need to respect every profession, and I think that was a limitation for me, that I couldn't like go to like these state gyms and like work with them.
They have the money, but they like have the money, not the vibe. Vibes are off.
Vibes are off. So then I don't like, they also knew, the institute knew, and I didn't even tell them that I'm looking for a job, let me know. But I guess they kind of, whenever the opportunity came to them, they thought of me, and they sent the the recommendation to me that you can go and interview to them. And that was in Gurgaon. So there's this club membership, club members kind
in
of
Gurgaon?
Thing in Gurgaon. It's called the Quorum.
Okay.
So Quorum is like like if you have heard of Soho Bombay.
Yes.
It's like a members club. You take membership, then you get certain perks. It's everything, but you do not get a room there to sleep.
Okay, so basically it might be having a restaurant, gym, all of that,
exactly.
And you can just hang out with your friends there. Whoever is a member.
Whoever is a member, you can just come in. Of course, it's very members exclusive.
Okay.
You come there, you've got a gymnasium, you've got a restaurants to chill, you've got a library, you've got meeting rooms. Like you just get the membership and you get all these perks. You get like a personalized, and also like the same kind of. So the Quorums, like a lot of people have the money, how Haryana is, like the really rich
especially
people,
Gurgaon,
especially Gurgaon. But like their criteria was you need to have a certain background, because they wanted to maintain that.
Even for someone who's coming as a trainer, like
okay. No, not for them.
Okay.
Not really, but of course, like you need to like fill into that description, but not for an employee. I was an employee there, but like for the members, I'm saying. So that kind of helped me in a way. Like I knew it, like the people that I'm going to work for, they will at least have that much of exposure that they will not be, just treating me as a trainer, but like also knowing the fact that, this person can help me.
Yeah, the value that you're bringing, they'll see that.
Yeah. So when that clicked to me, I understood like, okay, this company can be a little different. Plus it's a hospitality industry. So it kind of matches what I've already done before. So then I'd gone for the interview. I got through the first interview. Second interview also was, okay for me. That also I got through. And then I started working for that company. And it's what benefited me, like the women entrepreneurs. So the owner of that gym is actually a woman. Sumaya. She herself. That's her company. That's her name, real name.
Okay.
Yeah. So she also started as a trainer. She was also so the background was somewhat similar. She was also a runner, and then she understood like this is something that really the crowd needs. And then she started her own. She started with like a standalone gym, and then she's. I don't know, like when I was there, it must have been like 3 or 4 years with Quorum. Quorum was also actually a recent startup. It wasn't that old.
Got it.
So then, Sumaya kind of, they had a tie-up that, we are doing this club membership. We would love to have you, because, Sumaya's clientele is also very different, because like she herself, like, she comes from a background where, these people like, they're like doing good. Let's just keep it short. Like they're all like doing good. They have businesses. So they, like for maybe, I would say like for my parents, like strength going to the gym is like a task. But like the crowd that used to come there, like I understood, like they understood the meaning of strength training. It's not a task, but it's like, it should like how you brush your teeth, just go out and work out.
Professionals the, matlab, वहाँ पे
even professionals the.
They know कि matlab whatever they're getting into, it is a very regular thing, and they already have a lot of knowledge about it.
Exactly. So that helped me a lot, and having a woman entrepreneur boss like helped me a lot. So so I did that for 3 years, imagine. And then not 3 years, sorry. I did it for 2-ish years, not even 2.5. Like
and we did not discuss your parents' reaction on this. Like, when you finally decided to get into training, you were planning to give the certification exam and all that. You came back from Bangalore. How was their reaction? Were they okay about it?
So my mom was okay. She wasn't she wasn't worrying much, like because she's always seen like I mean money comes later, but she knew like I'm like not a hustler, but I'm not someone
You'll
like who'll
figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll do something, but I'll go somewhere. Like, you know, go somewhere as in like I'll understand. I'll know shit. And I'm not someone like who gets very comfortable easily. Again, like keeping my childhood in mind, like I was making money like since my 4th grade.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean I was an athlete for, you know, like the Punjab the government, like so they also have their own competitions where, you know, if you win it, like you're their athletes. Nice. So like state levels, you're like you're the Punjab athlete. You're no more. My papa was posted in Bhatinda, so I was no more like a city athlete. I was like their state athlete. Great. And then if you like take them to like North Zone, then you know you go to that inter-zone competition. Then I'm like a North athlete. So I kind of always like hustled my way out, made money, and you know, like whatever. But my mom was okay. Mom was okay, but my papa, like, of course, you know, he has been out in the world. He knew how the industry was.
Plus, it's mostly male dominated. So
male dominated. Yeah. So my papa was like really like he wasn't concerned in me like doing the job, but he knew like I might give up easily because, you know, like I'm not used to that. Like, you know, those men dominated industry like Indigo was, if you I mean I'm sure you must have seen like Indigo, you will never see a male crew, like it's actually just a women crew company. Yeah, so I have always been like it was a highly female dominated industry, highly.
And plus, knowing your nature also, he probably thought, you know, my daughter probably like women's company more, and she'll rather.
And like even if men are there, like my boss was like, at least the guy needs to know like how to you know have those civil manners, which he knew like at least this industry would lack because I mean because a lot of like how I entered, like people didn't know, like I didn't know like okay you know you can have a career here, but like I you know it like they understood eventually after I started working for this company. The company was really good. Yeah, the Quorum, Sumaya, in like they really helped me, and you know I started working with like it was not just regular training, but I started with like old age people with like knee injuries, like ACL.
They also come.
Yeah, they come, and they. I mean, these are those few companies where actually they, you know, they kind of just let themselves. Nice. You know, give it to the trainer. So that was also like very beneficial for me. Like initial stage, like people were trusting me with these issues. Like otherwise, like if you see like people with these injuries, you know, those
and you also have to be so careful with them.
So careful, yeah. So they will never come to a trainer. Like Tate gyms, you will never see these people coming in, like
because they don't get. I mean, what is needs to be worked on.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess this company also gave me the opportunity to work on like different, you know,
different types of clients.
Different type of clients. I also trained, you know, I trained a person till her 9th month. Like, yeah. So I did.
She was working out.
She was working out, and she was my client for almost 2 years, where she did not work out. Not 2 years, like a yearish. She worked out with me, where she was not consistent at all. But during her pregnancy, she was like very consistent.
Nice.
So that also I'd experienced, and you know, like it gave me a lot of like now I do online, but then doing that in person, like it's
gave you a lot of confidence.
Absolutely, it's a different vibe and experience that you get out of it. Like you're so confident when you train any other case like that in your future because you already know the pros and the cons of like this exercise can do that to him, because of course you're also not. You're not a guru, right? You're also like it's a bookish,
and you're learning. Like
you're learning
with every new client you learn, you get to know कि और भी कैसे complicated चीजें हो सकती है.
Exactly. So I also had my mishaps, like not with these clients luckily, but like with general clients also, like some things didn't work for me. You know, some exercise I made that person do and it did not do good to that person. So they came back to me later like saying maybe, you know, it doesn't work for me. So I understood like maybe online I will always be very safe. Like had I just been an online trainer. But now I know these things very well. So
even this is a better route to take because you have seen it all in person. You have experienced it all variety of cases, and now you are more confident with your online cases.
Yes. Yeah. So that really helped me. And then at one point I felt like, okay, you know, now I kind of, I wouldn't say like I knew it all, but I knew like this in-person training is done. Like I don't want to do any more of that.
Okay.
I learned also a lot, and you know, it was paying me also fine. But now I knew like I wanted to do something more, like maybe just having my own niche, or you know, I don't know, like something else in the same industry could interest me. So then I thought, okay, this is the time. Now I'm going to leave.
Okay,
and
this is what year exactly?
This is 2024.
2024.
Yeah. So I
left.
started working with them in 2022 April, and I left them in 2024 summerish time.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that was like,
and by this time you had a good number of clients who knew you personally.
Yes. Then of course, you kind of have a good rapport if you work well. Yeah, I made good connections in a way, like, let's say you're training someone, then someone has like a good experience with you, then that someone will go to
recommend someone else.
Yeah. So but that was all happening under a company brand. But then I knew, like, now I have the confidence, so I was like, okay, up now, let me just do it all by myself.
The brand has to shine.
Yeah. So yeah, then I wanted to like then do my own stuff and maybe make my own mistakes, learn from my own mistakes. But then I thought, like, okay, this is it, now I need to leave and I need to like figure my stuff.
Okay.
All that money should go in my account more than
like makes sense. I mean, you have learned the skill now. You know how to talk to clients. You are good with them. So why not just take it on your own?
Yeah. And then I understood, like, this all, of course, like the money part and the flexibility part, but now I see it, and this is what I always wanted from myself, I guess, having my own timings, having my own work schedule. I guess I'm really grateful for that, and I made it possible for myself. So this industry can actually, it gives me that. I can work on myself, like it can be my own way to like work and have my own schedules. So then, and plus, like, the whole Shadi scene also happened. I got proposed in April 2024. So that was also kind of an alarm that, now I'm going to move cities. Because
you have to see the bigger picture and move things accordingly in your profession.
Exactly. Right? And in Bangalore, I don't know how the scene is. I'm sure like Bangalore is way more ahead, I'm sure, than Delhi, Gurgaon, because of course, like, there are more professionals, people, again, living more sedentary lifestyle. They need more help. Everyone is working. Like, they're the lifestyle such that you can't like really afford the lifestyle with one person working in the house. Like, you really need
both
the other
person. Both have really long hours and
so they're all like, everyone looking for something, again, some stimulation in the body to happen. So I knew like Bangalore is good, but again, like, I'm not looking for a job yet. So I wanted to kind of have a base for me, like at least for a year that I go to Bangalore, I have something of my own that then I do not have to look out for. So I started working online, and then I luckily, like, my Instagram did well. Like, now I don't do much on Instagram, which I definitely have to. I've been planning for, I don't know, like, since when, 2-3 years, that I have to make it more active. But yeah, it did bless me with a few clients. Like, it came very naturally to me, and then again, like, someone recommended someone to me.
Mostly word of mouth.
Word of mouth really works. Yes. And so this is like, now I'm like, I'm doing good for myself. I mean, I'm making my clients happy.
Okay.
So so now it's like completely online, and I hope like in Bangalore also it goes the same way. Now, something that like how I told you, like, this industry really, like, really it's never boring for me. So now in future, like, now I'm already working with like 2 postnatal clients, like they've just delivered and they're with me. So that, like, it really interests me. And with like the increasing number of the C-section happening, like natural birthing is like so rare. Like, you'll barely hear anyone, oh my god, you've had a natural birth. Like, it's so rare. And earlier it was the ulta, like, you would be someone, oh, you've got it.
That was the issue.
C-section, like, really, you got it and operated. And now it's so normal. Normal. So I think that area also really interests me. So maybe going forward, that's something that I want to like have my niche in. And
I mean, if those kind of clients have started trusting you with their journey, so I think वहाँ तो even और ज़्यादा needy है, मतलब.
Yes, and again, it's women. So
so
for me,
this brings me to my next question. So now you are someone who has their own clientele, right? You have already worked for an offline brand as well. You did your certification. So if someone wants to get into this industry, would you recommend doing a certification and then going for an offline thingy and then build their own client base, or would you just tell them you can do whatever you want, and then and even if they follow the path that you did, how can they go about onboarding the clients? Like, because I think that is the most difficult thing apart from the word of mouth. How can they build their brand online? And is it even necessary? Like, is it necessary to build that brand online? Is it word of mouth is something which only works? Yeah, how would you recommend? Like,
so see, again, every generation, forget about decade now, things are like switching so fast. Like I would say, like every 2-3 years there's a change in the market. Like I remember when I was studying, so that institute that I used to go to, so there were these like really popular trainers there, like who were also like their side hustle was like just teach in this institute because they had so much knowledge that they just wanted to like give away, but otherwise they were like professional trainers. So when I used to like talk to them, so they would actually tell me, "Arey, Instagram kuch nahi hai. This is shit. Like, you know, you just do your work well, and because that's what worked for them. You know, you just do your work well, and the word of mouth will do everything for you," which is also right. But I guess I'm still like somewhere in middle. Like Instagram, yes, it does great, but still I haven't taken much benefits of it. But now the rise that, you know, people are just like anything, yeah, come on, like the skin, like now I take so many skincare recommendation from Instagram influencers.
Or it's all up to you also. Like if you really like the recommendation, you really like that influencer and the genuineness is there, so you would definitely buy those things.
Exactly. So I think having a name in the industry and building that before also, like, you started studying for it professionally. If something interests you, start working on it. Make a YouTube, maybe YouTube will also pay you. Make a YouTube, make a Instagram, like do zillion things that will, you know, because there's so many consumers now. They'll see whatever you will put, and if really it's good quality, there's good content out there, they'll go for it. So I think like one should like really start with it, because, you know, like people are such pro with it. Like I still don't know how it works, but I know like so many of my friends, you do it so great, Shivani. So I've been telling you, you're doing so well. Like, so they're like people like it really interest you, and it will benefit you. So maybe like do that, never stop that work. But yes, like study, get the certification done if you want to, you know, because of course doing masters is like more how do I say, like a bigger picture. Like you get that 2 years that you're giving to that course. I just give like 4-5 months, and then of course like I'm still studying, but then 4-5 months I thought, okay, I'll just get the certification then, and I was fit for that. But I guess giving 2 years, you kind of spend so much time on one topic, then you go ahead and, you know, switch to another topic. So that way is always good for you doing the master, but it's expensive. If you're doing it from a good institute,
it's expensive.
It's expensive. Like I know a friend of mine, she did it from Bath University. Nothing less than 1 crore, right? Like in nowadays. So it's not also suits everyone's pockets, but I feel like if you want to still like just have a breakthrough in this industry, I think you can take a shortcut like me. There are lots of institutes that giving you, you know, these certifications, because certifications are really important.
Okay, it is like it is not optional.
No, a lot of people are there in the market who haven't done an certification. They're still there, and it's not like it's not like that it's making their clients, you know, they're not bothered about it. The person is doing good for them. But I guess I'm someone like ethically it's better, like, you know, it kind of matches my ethics. If you're just, why not? If you're studied for it, just better prepare for an exam and then give the exam. That way, if you tell your
थोड़ी बहुत credential तो मिल ही जाता है. Just for the start, like if you're a fresher getting into it, so you might as well just have it now.
Yes, so you can tell those people that, you know, I'm this is certified. That kind of builds a trust in them that, you know, even if you fumble, which is very normal, but at least they'll have a trust in you, like, okay, this person is from this, they have done this certification, they kind of have a certain level of knowledge, so it's better. And it's very important, like, if you want to also work for a company, like how I did, like when I started working with Smile, like it was a major criteria that I have to be certified trainer, and not just like random certification. It has to be like, so there were, I mean, then like there was ACSM, ACE, there's something NESM or something like that. Also, there are lots of institutes that give you these, CS is great. Like if you want to get into sports training, like how I was trained. So like CS is something that, you know, I would love to do in future. Like if I want to like train athletes. So that's also like gives you a great insight into like sports training.
And even like if you do it for someone who's probably a huge cricketer, like you are fully loaded then.
You're fully loaded. Like these cricketers take you worldwide. Like tell me about your travel. Like if you see any of like this big athlete, like
Virat
Kohli, come on, like he always have a physiotherapist with him. He'll always have a trainer with, like they can't go without a trainer. They can't go without a physiotherapist. Because God forbid anything happens, they need a person with them. So I guess for that matter also, you really need to get yourself certified. Like if you really want to like take a long way in the industry.
If you're really sure about it, like might as well just go for it in a structured manner.
Yeah.
Rather than just keep मैं बस account बना लेता हूँ, 4 advice वहाँ दे देता हूँ.
हाँ. A lot of people do that. I mean, I don't want to name people, but I know so many influencers. They just lose weight and then they become trainers. This is my journey. I've lost this much weight.
It's more about aesthetics for them. Like they look good. And they have sort of cracked the content game, so they thought.
And it really like hit that emotional aspect of a lot of people, because it's a big insecurity for people to like be obese and like not matching the the so-called conventional. Trust me, like I won't say obese people, like forget that, but I've seen so many people who are overweight and they're way much fitter than a skinny person. I've seen that with my eyes. Like there's something called as so there's a fat around your organs also, and there's something skinny fat. So these skinny people are also like really high in fat. It's just like it doesn't show up on their body. So a lot of people like who are conventionally fat, they're way fitter because they're able to move, they're able to sit, they're able to squat.
And that's more important.
That's more important, bhai. Like forget about how you look, how a certain person give you the certification. You look fit. That will do nothing for you. So I think with these influencers, they also hit that market. यार ये भी मोटा था, मैं भी मोटी हूँ, या मैं भी मोटा हूँ. Like ये तो मुझे ही पतला बना देगा. How that thing works. Maybe it will not work for you. So I guess having that education background is very important. Ethically, it really makes sense, at least for me. And now let's go on like how my journey turned into like I joined a company.
Yes.
So again, for me, I think I like the structure that was put. That was put across me. Like I like the training that was given to me by that company. I like those experiences. I like those cases coming to me. Like there was some spoon fitting that was given to me, definitely. Like when I took my first prenatal case, like my boss Smile literally sat with me and she told me like, this is how I had done the training. This is how my employees have done the training. You can take these steps. Of course, I need to put in my knowledge also. But these people like help me with it. Like their experiences help. So I don't know, maybe I could do it on myself, but at least with me, the structure helped me. So maybe for a person who's not that confident or who thinks maybe, it helps, go for it. Work for a year and then maybe once you feel confident, okay, I can do it by myself, then do it for yourself.
Especially if you're not surrounded by the similar background people.
Yes.
है ना, मतलब अगर आप बिल्कुल ही अलग background से आते हो जहाँ पे ये कोई भी नहीं कर रहा है and there is no one to guide you, then you should go take that traditional route only, wherein people are there to teach you properly.
Exactly. And it's a good industry. Like I know tech people, like you really need to work for at least 2 years, 3 years to like show the other company like, I have this much experience. But this industry, like, it's good if you want to take the shortcut route. Like it's good, like you can show like 1 year I have trained this client and I think I'm good at it, and then you can show your work up to the clients that you will be taking in future. And I think once you have that experience, you take it in person, you take it online. I guess once you have that kind of
brand.
A brand and a base that these people have already trained under you and they're benefited out of it, the word of mouth and like this has happened with me. Like I train someone, then I train someone's husband, and then someone like their kid also wants to that like the woman wants her daughter also to train with me, and then she recommended her sister to me, then her sister's daughter also like messaged me. So there's a whole chain of like with one family only, like you can do so much that you don't really have to go out. So and imagine like I'm not even active on Instagram. Imagine someone doing it on Instagram, on YouTube. They are like
वो तो उनका तो proper marketing channel है वो.
Proper marketing channel है. So you just put one picture, one review of a person, and then people are going to come back. Like I'll tell you, so like now we are planning for the wedding and everything. So when we started like the venue hunt, so I actually gone to their Instagram page. I checked these people have gotten married, and I DM'd those people like, how was your experience in that venue? If I can do it on my venue,
they would definitely do it for a fitness trainer.
Exactly. So these things really help. So again, like there are different ways. This way really worked for me. I'm still on a learning phase. I think this will never end. But for a really confident early Gen Z, I think there are many more options, and it will keep changing. 2-3 years, maybe you don't know. Maybe the Instagram is not the thing. There's something else that's really doing good. So try your luck there, but like keep hustling.
Yeah. I mean, I did not know, seriously, this industry is so huge, and there are so many niches into it that you can get into depending on your style, what interests you the most. So yeah, that was really informational.
I'm glad.
Okay, do we want to cover anything else? I mean, I don't think so, right? I think we have covered how people can get into it, and you don't really need to have a background for it. You just need to be someone who loves
this.
moving, basically.
Yes.
And
I mean, I feel you can't do it as a job. You can't think, okay, my 9 to 5, I have this session at this session at this. I'll do, these many sessions. This is my day. But I mean, that's how I do not function like that. I really like those training sessions, and I want to imagine like I've been working with this person for 3 years, and I still want her to make her happy in that 1 hour. I want to make her feel like, okay, this is something what we have done, that is going to make you feel better. Every 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you train with me, like I want to make a difference, and I want to make you feel better. That's my job. Of course, I'll get paid anyway. You're going to, like I'm going to get the credits every month. Like my payments are going to come, but the effects will also come. But how you're going to make that person happier, I guess that's also very important.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't happen that easily. Like people will be like bound to pay you because you did that for them, but then like if they don't see the results, if they are not happy, like what's the point?
So I guess this industry also, so that's when I thought I wasted my 3 years in Indigo, like it didn't do any good to me, like what am I taking out from it? But now down the line, almost like a year and a half in this fitness industry, I understood that industry did so good to me. The soft skills that I've learned,
obviously, I mean,
my God,
I just hate, I think हम पहले से या तो हमें हमारे बड़ों ने ऐसा सोचना सिखाया कि like things are like so dissected. हाँ, मतलब इतनी unrelated है कि अगर आपने इस field में कुछ किया तो it's never gonna be helpful somewhere else.
Exactly.
The soft skills are like so much transferable. Like so you can use it anywhere.
Like making relationships, making anything, like it's so helpful. And soft skills is something that not every industry will teach you.
Exactly. And you'll not that, like it's not easier to also get that good at it. And I'm glad कि अब चीजें इतनी easy तो नहीं, मतलब थोड़ा सा वो हो गई है कि लोगों के लिए खुद मैनेजेबल हो गया है एक इंडस्ट्री से दूसरे इंडस्ट्री में ऐसे जाना. पहले पीपल यूज्ड टू बी लाइक मैं इसी में 25 साल रिटायरमेंट आएगी और फिर मैं चाहेंगे. आजकल के लोगों का माइंडसेट, दे आर रादर मोर इनटू कि व्हाट इंटरेस्ट देम मोर, वेयर डू दे सी देमसेल्व्स गोइंग, rather than कि मैं इसे एज अ जॉब ढूंढूं करके बस छोड़ दूं और फिर, which is like good, which is a good thing.
Which is a very, very good thing. I mean, of course it has its own cons also because the market is turning so fast that the people that you're also serving,
they always have to be on their toes to upskill themselves.
So like for me, like I really need to like up my game. I really need to. I know it. Like my clients will not, they'll never tell me, but like maybe 6 months, 7 months, there will be definitely someone who will have the best soft skill, who will have the best training methods, who will be great body also. So this industry also like gives you the challenge that like bhai kaam karte raho. There's so much happening, and everyone has the flexibility. Everyone is like now doing something around fitness, so everyone can have that interest. Everyone can study and like get your job. So
and they like the lifestyle also.
They like the lifestyle. So exactly. So I guess what you said that now people are not sticking to that industry for long, but that also like gives you an alarm that there's always more people entering your industry. So you can't be like comfortable. I've spent like 10 years in this industry, there's no one like me. No bro, like there are way more people, there are better people coming in this industry.
And probably that is the reason why it's much more important to focus on the fundamentals and not go for that Instagram shit and all that. You're just doing it for the fame, probably because you have the body already, so might as well just cash on it.
Exactly.
You do the work that is required, build the base from there, and then take it forward.
So I guess how I said, like after a long time you'll understand this point, that short that quick how do I say, like acknowledgement you'll get from the you know, consumers. Validation you'll get. The person looks good. What about, you know, when again you know, sorry, but like something goes wrong, you know, maybe you were working with 10 clients, 5 of those clients you know, they moved cities, their timeline changed, they don't want to work with you anymore. How are you going to get the new clients? And that will only come with like those that fundamentals that you've built.
Yes. So yeah, that was really informational. I loved talking to you, Jagnandini, and I did not know a lot about this industry. And I'm sure whoever is watching this will find it very insightful, because I actually did. So one last piece of advice, if you would like to share with our viewers, what would that be? It could be from, you know, from your perspective as a fitness trainer, like how can they be more healthy, and if they want to get into it, how, just one piece of advice that you would like to give.
See, again, like my advice list can never end. But yeah, I feel let's get serious. It's a machine. It's not you know, like sorry, your genetics benefits can last what,
for some years,
for some years more. At least my age people, okay, max to max a decade more. What after that? So it's a machine, any machine, like you know, we take every machine. Let's talk about my RO, the water purifier. I get it serviced every year once, because it's a machine, it malfunctions. Same with us, like it's after it's a body, you know, we have these joints, it's like screw laga hua hai, you need to oil that joint, you know, you need to like move those muscles, otherwise they'll get tighter, you know, there's so much, like it's all machines if you see deeply. So it's really important that we, you know, think from that point of view and keep working on it, and never take it for granted that if your body is doing good now, it will be keep doing good for you like for years. So you need to take care of it, being grateful. Like that's it. Thank you. And I really had a fun time too. I love, I love talking.
We both do.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was great piece of advice, and I'm sure you guys also found it really helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm sure we can do more such sessions you know, later after her wedding maybe. And then she can give you more tips into, you know, getting into your fitness journey. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.